I'm going to apologize in advance. I'm afraid 3/8 is going to be a slightly longer video. We are going to do it in 2 parts. But here we go. So today we're going to be using inverse matrices. First, let's remind ourselves, what does it mean if I say inverse? Remember, if I say inverse, like if I say 2, its inverse would be 1/2. Because when you multiply those, you get 1. Right? And so, like, if I want to cancel something, like make the x's, go away, or make that multiplier go away, you multiply by the inverse so that it cancels out. That's what we're going to be doing next with matrices, is trying to figure out how can I, quote, cancel it. So for today, we are going to work on finding an inverse matrix. Tomorrow, we'll be finding an inverse matrix to use it to solve a system of equations. 3/8 is actually the last section of this chapter. So, okay, so if 2 matrices are inverses, it means they, quote, cancel. This is what the identity matrix looks like. So when you multiply, the identity is 1. That's what, quote, cancels it. Like if I have 3x equals, 6 or whatever, you can divide by 3, but isn't dividing by 3 the same thing as multiplying by 1/3? And the reason you do that is because it cancels the 3. That's what I'm talking about right here. That 1001, that's what's being canceled. So, the way you can tell if 2 things are inverses, if you multiply them together, it will equal the identity matrix, which of course was up there, and it is 1001. So you guys remember how to multiply. If not, go to 3/6, multiply those 2 together. You will actually get 1001 when you multiply these 2 together, and they are inverses. Okay, let's go ahead and actually figure out, how do you find that inverse matrix? What you do is check out this pattern up here. Basically, find the determinant and put it under 1, right? Because that's what AD minus B times C is basically a determinant, right? And then check this out. You're going to multiply that fraction by taking those 2 numbers and swapping them. And then this stuff is just going to switch the sign. If it's positive, make it negative. If it's negative, make it positive. If I were you, I would have this written on my notes or note card. Let's do an example. Every matrix, what we're basically going to do is label it A, B, C, D. So matrix A, what I want to do is 1 over A is 3 times D, which is -4, minus 7 times 1. Again, you may have noticed that this is literally just a determinant. Remember that from yesterday. And then I'm going to swap these 2 numbers, so -4 and 3. And then for these 2 numbers, just switch the sign. So since the 7 is positive, I'm going to make it negative. 1 is positive, so I'll make it negative. And now just simplify. So 3 times -4 is -12, minus 7 times 1 is 7. So -12 minus 7 is -19. Oh, except when I write a fraction, do I really like having that negative sign on the bottom? No, we usually either put it on top or we kind of put it on the outside. Now you just have scalar multiplication. Remember that from the first day of matrices? You're just going to multiply this in, and yes, it's going to be ugly. It's going to be pretty awful, actually. Let's see. That's going to be a positive 4/19. And like the multiplication itself isn't bad, but your answers, you're just not going to like them because they're going to be kind of some ugly fractions. 1/19 and -3/19. If any of those can simplify, do it. But that's your answer. If I wanted to, I could go ahead and take this and multiply it by the original fraction. And if I get the matrix 1, 0, 0, 1, then I know I found the right answer. That's just a way you can double check yourself. So let me do one more, just because I know it was funny. This time I'm going to kind of do it a little faster though. So 1 over, it's just a determinant. 2 times 3 is 6, minus 1 times negative 4 is negative 4. Double negative, so it's 1/10. Swap, let me erase. Swap this diagonal, 3, 2. Make this diagonal opposite signs. Negative 1, positive 4. Do distributive property. 1/10 times 3 is 3/10. Negative 1/10. 4/10. And 2/10. Oh, I noticed something. I think I have a couple fractions that will simplify. So 3/10, negative 1/10, 2/5, and 1/5. Don't forget, when we have inverses, you can label that as the inverse function of x with that fancy schmancy f of negative 1. Okay, we're going to practice this today. Tomorrow we will use it to solve equations.